Let us know that our audio and video is okay. Give a like, thumbs up, make some noise saying that you're here.
So, hello everyone. Welcome and welcome to Thursday Weekly Wellness Chat. For those of you who are meeting us for the first time, I'm Dr. Shobha Raipudi and this is my husband, Dr. Arjun Raipudi. Both of us are certified lifestyle medicine doctors, and we co-founded Gift of Health, and actually every week we conduct this weekly wellness chat to answer your question and also to help people actually get freedom from their diseases.
Mm-hmm. And simply using the power of food and lifestyle to find freedom from chronic diseases and get off the medication treadmill, just lower dependency on medications and surgery by using simple but very powerful lifestyle practices.
Yes. So a lot of exciting things are actually happening at Gift of Health, I would say. So just last month, like we had wonderful cooking shows where we could actually show people like how they can cook without using much dairy, saturated fat, or any processed food. So yes, so our Loki is also
You want to join the chat? Okay.
for our weekly wellness chat. Yeah. So you want to say something, Loki? Yeah. So as I was saying, so we had an exciting session where we actually showed like how you can make your favorite recipes without using much dairy, much oil, and last week we had a healthy junk food challenge where we actually showed people like how they can create their favorite junk foods, whether they're craving for chips or chocolate or ice cream. So you name it, like whatever junk foods that you're craving for, actually people were able to make using whole plant-based ingredients, and they were quite surprised that how simple it was to make and that you don't need much any fancy ingredients or anything to actually make those ingredients. So I know maybe we could just
Yeah.
play with him.
Live. Give me kisses now.
Okay, hi Laura. So Laura is saying, I'm wondering if you have a recommendation for a non-stick frying pan. Is there a certain brand you find better than others? So hey Laura, yes, we have used numerous non-stick pans. The one that I'm currently using is from the Circulon brand that I got from Costco. Like we live here in Newfoundland, and in St. John's, yeah, so we got this. So it's called Circulon, and also there are Copper Chef, so which which has the copper interior and exterior. So Copper Chef, that is something that you can also put in the oven. So I use that brand as well.
So we put it in the comments, the
Yeah.
Circulon brand, Copper Chef brand.
Yes. Yeah. And the other thing is, you might also hear a lot of people in the plant-based world you use Salad Master, which is like it has the stainless steel, and even those are great for frying or for cooking. So like cooking without oil, those are wonderful.
He's trying to find a comfortable position and sit in the lap.
Okay, you want to sit here, Loki? Okay, come decide
You
fast.
got to answer some questions too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He can show you how to be peaceful. Okay, what else do you have? What do you guys want us to talk about? And whatever questions you have, you're welcome to type it in the chat. Meanwhile, we do have this question from Murray. Murray was asking, why is that after a little bit of playing, he tries to nibble at us.
Yes, yeah. Okay, no biting.
No nibbling.
So no playing now.
No
Okay.
Go. We can play after. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question was, why does salt make me gain weight?
So here's so Murray has asked this question: why do a salty meal make me retain fluid?
Yeah, so that's the nature of the salt. Salt is made up of two different types of elements. One is sodium, another one is chloride. Sodium chloride is what is table salt, and the salt has a chemical property to retain water. And so anytime you increase the intake of salt in your diet, you'll see naturally there is more water retention. That's how salt is, like where and the other thing is like salty foods. Whenever the food is a bit salty, we tend to eat more of it. Some of us, more than others, are salt lovers. So if you're someone who loves salt, and then you know when you put uh, salt, you tend to eat more. Rather, like when you eat like low salt, you tend to eat less. So that's also one thing. One thing is salt itself retains water. Other thing is like the more salt is in the food, the more likely to you overeat, and that's how many of the junk food companies they make different kinds of salty junk foods. Like, why do you think chips are so tasty? It's all the salt and the oil that's there. So there is also other question: why is uh, why do I always gain weight on my stomach? Well, where we gain weight, it differs from each one of us. There is also a little bit of genetics involved as well. So some people tend to gain weight more in the hips and thighs and buttocks, and some people tend to gain weight more in the stomach region. So this is some of it has to do with the genetics, and the other thing is some of the increase in the girth of the abdomen after you eat certain foods. It may not be the weight; it may be some of it is the gas, the excess gas and bloating causing that much stomach distension. So yeah, there you go. Hope that helps. Okay.
So we have one question from Adarsha. So she is asking, do you know if there are fruits and vegetables which help prevent migraines? There are plenty of articles online which addresses the foods which cause migraine. So one thing is, so migraine is a condition like where you experience headaches, and there are certain triggers that actually cause migraine, and sometimes cold or too much heat causes migraine, and for women sometimes like during their time of menstruation periods also they experience migraines. So you would notice that there are certain triggers that you find cause migraine, and avoiding those triggers help. Main thing is to avoid dairy. Not many people realize like how much dairy affects and cause migraines. So especially during migraines, it's very important that we avoid dairy. And when it comes to, okay, if you know there are any fruits and vegetables which help prevent migraines.
So there are some foods. One is green leafy vegetables. Green leafy vegetables, they tend to decrease the chance of getting migraines. Spinach, collard greens, kale. So load upon them. They have multiple health benefits as well. The green leafy vegetables have the highest amount of antioxidants and phytochemicals. Then flax seeds, like taking good amount of flax seeds is quite helpful as well.
And the other thing is ginger. Ginger is when you look at vegetables, ginger is one thing also which helps mitigating migraine.
Yeah. Okay. So in general, typically, like the less meat, dairy, and processed foods you eat, less migraine attacks. More of the green leafy vegetables. There is some studies linking eating avocados might decrease the incidence of migraine. Well, we are on this. Like, why don't we show you a tool that you can use to see if there is anything available on the particular disease you're searching. Like sometimes the nutritionfacts.org may have, Dr. Greger might have made videos to see based on the science, based on the research. Let's see, I'm going to share my screen in a minute.
So you have to share before sharing.
Yeah, foods that help headache and migraine relief. Okay, I'm going to share. Okay. Let's share this thing. Okay. You can all see. So I'm starting from a blank Google Chrome. This is nutritionfacts.org website. Dr. Greger, he takes lot of time and energy. All his team has made over 2,000 videos on health and nutrition topics that are based on science. So if you're looking for a, let's say in this case, Adarsha was asking about migraine. So you just type in migraine. So Dr. Greger has his videos like foods that help headache and migraine relief. So you can watch the video, or you can go through the transcript. Like if you don't want to watch the video quickly, you can go through the transcripts. Like one food he's talking about is ginger, combining caffeine with other painkillers like Tylenol, green leafy vegetables, beans, nuts and seeds, whole grains. So you can see that like on everything that he's sharing in these videos is based on science. So he has more videos on lavender for migraines. So lavender is a fragrance. So any topic that you want to learn about, like for example, like if you want to see in like about hypertension or high blood pressure. So like here, flax seeds for high blood pressure, hibiscus tea for high blood pressure. So this is a tool that is available for you. You can use it anytime, anywhere. Sound good? Okay.
Okay, so let us know if you have any further questions.
Hi, Jeff. How are you doing?
So Sarah is asking, so flax is good for blood pressure? Yes, Sarah. Flax is very good for blood pressure.
Yeah, so flax seeds, you use them ground flax seeds, like you can put them in your breakfast cereal or add to your smoothies. They don't have much taste by themselves, but they take on the taste of whatever you add to it. So flax seeds have been shown to have a lot of benefits. They decrease inflammation. They have a good source of fiber, protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and they also tend to lower the chances of getting high blood pressure. They decrease the risk of getting strokes and heart disease and breast cancers. Flax seeds are one of the most widely studied and published as well.
Yeah. So Dennis is asking, you suggest eating lots of spinach. Does one have to be concerned about the oxalates in spinach leading to formation of urinary oxalate stone? Is there a limit on how much spinach you eat in a week?
Well, see, most of the kidney stones have to do with the excess intake of animal protein. And there are different types of kidney stones. And calcium oxalate stones are the minor kind. They're not the main type of stones people get. But if you have oxalate stones, then it is wiser to limit intake of spinach. And there are two other greens. I think the beet greens and chard, like I think
chard.
Swiss chard, beet greens, and the spinach. They have a higher amount of oxalates. But other people, you don't have to worry about getting urinary oxalate, like a high urinary oxalate and kidney stones, if you don't have any history of kidney stones.
Yeah.
And
So even that is the question, as you were suggesting in nutritionfacts.org. So if you actually open nutritionfacts.org, and the very concern that you expressed, Dennis, you can actually see there as well, where Dr. Greger has very beautifully explained, because a lot of people are afraid of eating spinach and are concerned, should we be concerned about? So maybe, do you want to share the screen?
yeah.
So like when you type in nutritionfacts.org, when you type in dietary oxalate, or you can just type in oxalates and kidney stones. So there is an
there is a good
article by Dr.
article.
Gray.
Let me see. I think I closed it by accident. So here,
so did you share?
no, okay. I'm going to share this. Okay, Google tab. Okay, so again, we go to nutritionfacts.org. And if you type in oxalate stones, so oxalates in spinach. So here you can see, I'm going to increase this. Yeah, you can see oxalates in spinach and kidney stones. Should we be concerned? If you just type on that, you can watch this video at your leisure. It's not a long video.
Yeah, but like if you go to transcript, you can.
If you go to transcript, you can read it.
Yeah. So one thing is, okay, like how much is too much? So let's say if you're taking 10 cups of spinach and making a smoothie out of it, so that will have more oxalates. So unless you're having 10 cups, like you're grinding 10 cups of spinach a day and drinking it, you don't have to be worried about the urinary oxalate. So
yeah, it's like unless here Dr. Greger is pointing to, like, unless you're genetically a little bit predisposed um, to get this oxalate type of stones, you don't have to worry too much about. And the amount of dietary oxalate you get from these greens is relatively very, very little.
and also the other point he mentions that, let's say if you're removing those fruits and veggies from your diet, your body produces the oxalates, and that is very difficult to get rid of. So it's always better to consume the fruits and vegetables, which has the alkalizing effect. And it would be able to actually neutralize the oxalates that is being produced in the body. So it's better to eat than to avoid. And in terms of quantity, as I said, as long as you're not taking like 10 cups of spinach per day, then you don't have to be concerned.
Hey, Alex, how are you?
Yes, good
to see you.
Yeah.
We can't see you, but you can see us.
Yes, yes. So, hey, Jeff, Alex. So Heather is asking, are whole flax seeds digested and processed by the body? So that's a good question, Heather. When it comes to flax seeds, so you can see that they're so tiny, and unless you are a very good chewer, unless you chew that flax seeds well before gulping them down, you would see that the flax seeds may just come outside without being digested. So that's why it's mostly recommended that you grind the flax seeds. In that way, the absorption rate is increased. And also, when it comes to flax seeds, they can be oxidized very faster. So like, let's say if you grind the seeds and put in clear bottles, it would be very easy for them to get rancid. So one way to store your flax seeds is, see like if you can buy the whole flax seeds, but whenever you need it, you can just grind them and freshly add to your foods or to your smoothies. Or even like when you're making smoothies, what you can do is you can add your greens, vegetables, fruits, and add the whole flax seeds and let it grind. In that way, what you would notice is you are able to absorb more flax seeds. So that's a good way of using flax seeds.
Beverly is asking, I asked a question about brown rice and arsenic. Is that a concern? Well, people should be concerned in general about the amount of arsenic one gets from chicken and meat. The amount of arsenic that comes from brown rice is very, very little. And actually, the arsenic is not in the brown rice. Arsenic is in the pesticides and the fertilizers that are used in that. So if the arsenic is in the soil, it gets into the brown rice. So in some places from the world, like in some places, from some of the places in the world, I'm blanking out on those places, but if the rice is produced from those places, yes, there is a higher concentration of arsenic. But if the rice is grown in US or Canada, like we buy then there is less concern about arsenic from the brown rice, especially California, like the Lundberg brown rice, that the amount of arsenic in that is very little. The thing is, some of these things are blown way out of proportion, the concerns about this arsenic in the brown rice. So overall, you don't have to worry too much about arsenic in the brown rice, but there are some things that you can do. Is what we do is, like, we just don't eat just one grain in our home. We mix up the grains. So we eat quinoa, we eat brown rice, we eat steel cut oats, we eat amaranth, we eat millets. So there are different types of grains you mix and match. So then you don't have to worry about just sticking to one grain to get your nutrients.
Yeah. So we have one question from Maxine. Are there any foods you would recommend for menopause symptoms, weight gain, and hot flashes in a vegetarian plant-based diet?
So the hot flashes and menopause symptoms are they tend to happen more if somebody is on a meat-based diet and omnivorous diet. People who follow more of a whole food plant-based way of eating have a lesser lesser degree or lesser intensity of menopausal symptoms. That is because, like, when you have meat and dairy products and processed foods, research shows that these things raise your estrogen levels by quite a high extent. And when the menopause comes, like as the fluctuations in your estrogen levels go drastically, like they get lowered, especially um, your ovaries themselves, they stop producing much of estrogen. So if your diet has like a lot of meat and dairy, your fluctuations, the levels of fluctuations of these estrogen levels is quite high. So you tend to have a significant amount of menopausal symptoms. But with a whole food plant-based diet, research shows that you get less of menopausal symptoms, especially like you're asking what about a plant-based or a vegetarian diet. So even in a vegetarian diet, like if you're eating dairy products like cheese, butter, milk and cream and these kind of things, then you tend to have a higher amount of a higher intensity of menopausal symptoms. So uh, like switch to a whole food plant-based way of eating, and also stick with like lots of fiber, more fiber rich foods have like they tend to decrease the menopausal symptoms. Flax seeds are also beneficial to decrease the menopausal symptoms. Staying away from oils, like oils and high fat plant-based foods, like if your food is high calorie dense and you also have like excess weight on you, then your people also tend to have a higher menopausal symptoms.
And when it comes to certain foods, if you're looking for certain foods in plant-based diet that would help with menopausal symptoms, so soy, so unprocessed soy also helps with the menopause symptoms. So um, having edamame, so which is unprocessed soy, and minimally processed soy as well, either soy milk or tofu. So those things also help with the menopausal symptoms.
Sadia is asking, what about the white steam rice? I eat a lot of it. Is it okay? Well, a little bit of white rice every now and then is okay, but the thing is, white rice is a processed form of whole grain. Brown rice is much less processed. It's close to the nature. When you take out the outer covering from the brown rice to make it to white, you are losing quite a bit of fiber, protein, and minerals and vitamins. So white rice just gives you simple amount of like too many calories, and also it gets converted into sugar more quickly. So the glycemic index is also higher compared to the brown rice. So overall, brown rice is better. But if you had to eat in a white rice, and if that's what is available, every now and then is okay. But as you're saying, Sadie, you eat a lot of it. I think you already know the answer.
Yeah, so it's better to switch to brown rice. That would be the best thing for you. But like if you look at simply, like when you look at brown rice, when it has everything, and if I put brown rice in the soil, it has the capacity to grow into a plant. But when you take the rice and take out the outer covering, uh, it doesn't contain the nutrients to help it grow. So the same thing. So when you're eating the white rice, you are not getting the nutrients. So white rice is you're stripping the nutrients out of brown rice. So like the vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals that are stored in the outer covering of the rice are gone. And ultimately, by eating white rice, what are you getting? You're just getting the starch. You're missing the vitamins, minerals, phytoxidants, and all the important nutrient stuff. So with that, what is happening is you're getting the calories, but you're not getting the nutrients. So if you can switch to brown rice, that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, and even other way to maximize the benefits um, of whole grains is not only just stick with the rice, also use other grains, like eating once a week, having some quinoa, once a week, having some other things like barley, steel cut oats, millets, and buckwheat. So there are just
Yeah.
go for different kinds of whole grains. Now, don't just stick with one whole grain.
The thing is, like, even if you go for different whole grains, make sure it is intact, not processed. Just as white rice is processed than brown rice, even in other grains, make sure it is the intact grain, but not the processed grain, because when you're processing the grain, you're losing the nutrients. So that's the thing that we want to avoid. So Sarah is saying, considered it changed. Good.
Good for you.
Good for you. So we have one question from
Denise.
no, like here we had another question. Okay, so okay. I read somewhere last night 1 glass of water before bed is good and 2 in the morning. Is this correct? Okay. So when it comes to water, like, yes, consuming water is good for you, because that is one of the vital nutrient. Like if you look at your body, 60 to 70% of your body is made up of water. So you can imagine how vital it is. So, and coming to when you're drinking it, it doesn't matter as long as you're drinking it. So the key thing is drink it. So definitely, like drinking water, like after you get up, it's good. And drinking water during the night. So the only thing you want to make sure that uh, right before bed, you don't want to wake up in the middle of the night. So as long as you're consuming water between morning and evening, that is good. So in that way, you don't have to worry about waking in the middle of the night to go to the washroom. Okay, so okay, we have another question from Denise. I have Hashimoto's, and I find recently I have gained a lot of weight and can't seem to control cravings. Is that normal with Hashimoto's?
Well, Hashimoto's is a condition where it's an autoimmune disease where your body is attacking, your immune system is attacking some of the cells in the thyroid, which decrease the function of the thyroid. So many people end up going on medication, like thyroid medication, to support the metabolism, because thyroid hormone has lots of metabolic functions, and if the levels are not proper, if your levels of your thyroid are low, then it's very easy to gain weight. So it's important that you follow up with your doctor and make sure your TSH levels are followed and your thyroid medication is adjusted accordingly. Because if your thyroid levels are not normal, then you can have a host of symptoms. And gaining weight, definitely, like when you have underactive thyroid in the Hashimoto's, like you can gain weight as well. So that's something that you got to check with your doctor to make sure that your blood work like blood work related to thyroid, like TSH, T4, T3 levels. Like your doctor will recommend what blood work needs to be done to check and see. and then make sure that you're on the right dose of medication. But if the thyroid levels are not properly controlled or managed, then it's very easy to fall into this cycle of weight gain and cravings and all.
Yeah. So while last week, I would say before last week, while we were doing our healthy junk food challenge, I know Denise, you participated as well. So when you're having the cravings, so make sure that you are satisfying those cravings with the creations, with the healthy creations that you're making. So instead of going for the store-bought chips or candy, so make sure that you make it with whole plant-based food and use that. And in that manner, you will also find that you don't gain much weight. When you're making foods using no oil and avoiding dairy and avoiding saturated fat, naturally what you would notice is you don't gain much weight. So that's other thing that you can try. And also when you're eating plant-based, it is very helpful for Hashimoto's. So the food that we eat has a greater impact, huge impact. So there are cases of Hashimoto's which have been recovered by plant-based diet. So see if you can incorporate more of healthy whole food plant-based foods, and that might improve your condition. Okay. So Adarsha is saying, when I travel abroad like Europe, Africa, India, to name a few, I find that there is no bloating after eating, and I can eat more quantity. Back in the US, within a couple of days, the bloating starts and I feel full much faster and eat much less. What is wrong with the foods in the US? Following more of a whole grain plant-based diet lately due to all these GI issues. Migraines for me could also be triggering from GI issues. I'm not eating 100% organic, mostly a mix, but it worries me about the quality of the food available in the supermarkets.
Well, the thing is, in the US, especially if you're not eating plant-based foods, it's very easy. It's if you're not mindful that the foods in general in US are very, very calorie rich. Coming from Indian background, I've seen this within myself, and I've seen with many of the friends and family members. Within few months of coming to US, I just like in first 2 years of moving to US and living there, I gained about 25 kilos. That is like 55 pounds. I mean, I was going through residency at the time through we moved to different places in US. But the thing is, the foods that are typically served, like these are very, very calorie rich. Like in general, like there is more dairy, more cheese, more eggs and meats, like that are freely, and also processed foods. Junk foods are very, very ubiquitous in US compared to India and Africa. So you have to be, I would say, extra mindful to make your food, make your dietary pattern more of a whole plant-based, minimally processed foods. Even if you are off by little bit, like if you're not following it like whole plant foods that are minimally processed, and if you're eating even in the plant-based foods that, like if you're eating oil or flour or salt and too much sugar, it's very easy to gain weight, feel bloated. that's all I would say. Like, if you're asking if is there something wrong with the foods in the US, maybe some, like, I don't know exactly, like, if there is any difference in the soil quality in US versus Europe versus Africa. And all I can say is, the observation I've seen is that the foods in general, people that are being served and eaten in US are extremely calorie rich and calorie dense.
Yeah, that's for sure. So Roof is asking, can stress cause lymph nodes to swell up? Any suggestions to manage swelling?
Well, the lymph node swellings, happen because something is going on around in the body, around the area of lymph nodes. Sometimes the lymph nodes get um, like inflamed. They swell up. Sometimes the tissues around the lymph nodes can get inflamed, or something, maybe disease process may be going on around, and then the lymph nodes can increase in size reactively. So lymph node swelling itself is a very, very broad topic. That means the cause of lymph node swelling cannot be determined just on this Facebook video call. If you have swelling of the lymph nodes, you got to see your family doctor, get a physical exam, a thorough physical exam, make sure that all your lymph node areas, like we have lymph glands everywhere in the body, but the major lymph node areas are the neck. Oh, Maitri is here. So we have our cat here and we have our dog here. They joined. Okay, so you have like the lymph nodes around the neck. We have lymph nodes in the throat. We have several lymph nodes in the chest and the abdomen, in the groins, in the axilla. So once you have lymph nodal swellings, it's important that your doctor does an exam and see that you don't have lymph nodes in other parts of the body, lymph node swellings in other parts of the body. And you need, depending upon where they are, depending upon how big they are, you need you may need like imaging studies, you may need like blood work, those things. So I would suggest, like, definitely get checked out by your family doctor. Good, folks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so these are the questions that we are actually seeing in the chat. And
Want to show
yeah.
them Loki and Maitri. So Loki, you can see Loki and Maitri in the same frame. Yeah. Here is Maitri and here is Loki. Loki, what do you think of Maitri? What do you think of your brother? Why you give look like that? Loki? Hi everyone. So
yeah, so as you can see, yeah, so like that's about the lymph nodes. So yeah, so coming about, as we mentioned, there are different events coming up which we want you to be aware of. So like just couple weeks we did cooking demonstrations to show like how you can prepare festival meals or holiday meals. And just last week we did the healthy junk food challenge, where we were able to show people like how using whole plant-based ingredients you can satisfy your cravings without sabotaging your health. And during that challenge, a lot of people also requested that they want to see some holiday meal creations and like how they can make main meals. So what we are doing is next week, instead of having Thursday weekly wellness chat, so we will be having a session on Friday. So just be aware that next week instead of Thursday, it would be Friday. But Friday, we have an exciting session for you because we are actually showing how to cook Newfoundland jigs dinner. So this is something that that is prepared either during Easter or Thanksgiving or Christmas. So you will get to see how you can prepare traditional Newfoundland holiday meals without using meat, without using dairy, without using much processed food, butter, cheese. So we have an exciting session coming up on Friday. So make sure you tune in. And instead of Thursday, we will be doing a cooking demo on Friday. And since Friday is a Remembrance Day, we are doing it in the afternoon, 1 p.m. Newfoundland time, which is 11:30 Eastern time. So make sure that you tune in and you can see like how to prepare meatless meatloaf, how to prepare jigs dinner without salt beef, how to prepare peas pudding, and all like typically the traditional Newfoundland dishes. And even if you're not from Newfoundland, watching this session will actually help you create ideas on how to create meatless meatloaf, or like how to create dishes without using meat, without using dairy, much saturated fat and oil. So we are really excited for that session and hope you join and get more ideas. Okay, so have a wonderful evening and thank you for joining us. And as we said, like every week we do this weekly wellness chat, and feel free to post your questions. So even if you want to post it outside the session, that is fine. And we will make sure to address them. So until next week, have a wonderful time, and we'll see you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.